show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Tell you a story. Life ain't sunshine and rainbows. You only get at what you put in, and it's not by walking away. Each one has a destiny, a certain curtain call. In the outset it looks so fun, but many turn back when they fall. Would you run away or stand and stay? Run away, my little angel. Would you run away or save it all? Run away, my little angel. Of nights when you feel all is lost, help will find a way to you. Just hold on to the cause. Only when he gave himself, walking in the devil's pond, he found in my sacrifice was he able to break the bond. Would you run away or stand and stay? Run away, my little angel. Would you run away or save it all? Run away, my little angel. Would you run away?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and children of all ages,
welcome to another exciting episode of the Artist Heart Live with me, your lovable host, the artist, the author, and the coach to the creative mind, John Morris. And I am delighted to be back with you folks. We took a brief, unexpected hiatus last week, as many of you may have noticed. Unfortunately, I had a couple of health issues, a few little scares, but on the whole, I'm much better, and we're back here, rocking and rolling, presenting this really, really awesome show as only we can. And this is the only place where you can get your 30 minutes of pure energy and entertainment on a Friday evening right here on YouTube on the Artist Heart Live. Folks, what a week it has been. There's been a lot of crazy stuff that have been going on. First of all, Boris Johnson has abdicated his throne at 10 Downing Street, or 11 Downing Street as it is now, and he left in a blaze of glory with a standing ovation and applause and so much more amazing stuff. And when you actually listen and, go back and research all the things that he promised and all the things that he said that he would do, 99.9% of them he actually went and did. He may be remembered for having a party during lockdown, and that may be his legacy, but I think we cannot take away from the phenomenal work that he did. And plus, he was entertaining at a time I think that we needed entertainment. What else has been happening? Well, if you tuned in to this week's episode of The Battles We All Face, you will have seen our special. Yes, of course, it's the first week in a new month, and we had a very special guest join us this week in the awesome Sean Kanan. For those of you that don't know Sean, he played Mike Barnes in The Karate Kid Part 3, Teen Psychopath, Mike Barnes, and he's also about to come back for Cobra Kai Series 5, so it was perfect timing. We chat about that and so much more, so if you haven't seen that episode of The Battles We All Face, definitely go back and check it out, because it was phenomenal. I love Sean, one of the most amazing people, gentle-natured and kindest gentleman I think that I have ever met, and the show that we did together was phenomenal. Talking of that, actually, a funny little story that happened. Many of you, if you've been following me on Instagram, following me on Facebook, will know that we have a brand new tech system that is in. We got that recently, and the reason being is because when Sean and I did our podcast together, my computer screen completely went out, and I had to do half of that episode completely in the dark. I couldn't see Sean, I couldn't do anything, and all I'm thinking is get through the show. We get through the show, Sean finishes up as he usually does, which is, hey, thanks John, take care, we'll do it again, all that kind of stuff. And I'm literally thinking, just get to the end of the show, because you're still recording. Everything else was still working, but I couldn't see Sean. I couldn't do anything. So halfway through, look out for it, folks. You can almost spot the moment. And it was actually quite hilarious when I look back now. And we've got a brand new PC system out of it to replace the one that we had. And it's much better, much faster, and much quieter. So with that all done and dusted, on today's show, we are going to be going in our Wayback Machine as I get to paint for you once more. We're going to be presenting our Historic Artist of the Week. And I think you're really going to love who we've got in store. And, of course, we've got Ask John, where we've got another fantastic question coming in. So I think we should go to the studio right now, and I should present to you, something fun and really colourful, bright, really wonderful. Enjoy. Tell you a story. Life ain't sunshine and rainbows. You only get out what you put in, and it's not by walking away. Each one has a destiny, a certain curtain call. In the outset it looks so fun, but many turn back when they fall. Would you run away or stand and stay? Run away, my little angel. Would you run away or save it all? Run darkest of nights when you feel all is lost, help will find a way to you. Just hold on to the cause. Only when he gave himself, walking in the devil's pond, he found at last sacrifice. Was he able to break the bond? Would you run away or stand and stay? Run away, my little angel. Would you run away or save it all? Run away, my little angel. Would you run away?
Well, folks, we are back, and we've got a great question time for you now. It comes to us all the way from Dublin, Ireland, from a lady called Cindy Jenkins. And she asked, John, I'm an aspiring author, just beginning, looking to make my mark on the world. How do I get started? Cindy, thank you so much, first and foremost, for your question. It is a question I get asked a lot of the time, and unsurprisingly enough, we have got a brand new course that's going to be coming out very, very soon on Udemy, on Teachable, on Skillshare, and thejohnmorris.co.uk, which is a site that I'm building presently. And it's all going to be surrounded how to be a best-selling author, how to write your first novel. We go into the difference between self-published and published, or traditional publishing, and so much more, how to get started. So I'm well equipped to talk about this. So getting started actually is one of the easiest things. People always say to me, getting started is the hardest thing. It's not. Getting started is actually the easiest thing. The hardest thing is about halfway through where you really, really are sick and tired of what you're writing, or you want to leave, or whatever. You've got to love what you're doing. That's the first thing. So you've got to have an idea, okay? If you feel like you are drawn to writing, you've got to have something to write about. What are you passionate about? People always say, write about what you know. I would add to that as well. Write about what you want to know, because when you write about what you want to know, you're going to write with passion, you're going to write with excitement. It's not going to be droll and boring, because when you write about what you just know, oftentimes you find that you become over-familiar with it. And as they say, over-familiarity breeds contempt. So you want to write about what you know, but also about what you want to know. And then literally don't worry about conceiving an idea or framing it or anything like that. Just sit down and begin writing. If anybody has followed me on the Battles We'll Face show, or Going Deeper, or Mind, Body and Soul, any of the other shows that we do, they know that I'm a very different kind of author. I'm an author that kind of channels these things. So I know R.L. Stine would not agree with me in the slightest, but this is exactly what happens for me, and I don't care whether he likes it or not. But what happens is I sit, and I never write about anything I don't divinely feel inspired to write about. So Without Through the Ages, for example, the new book series that's going to be coming out, all being well later this year, literally I sat down and I just began writing. And I mean, my wife was in bed ill at the time, so when I wasn't looking after her, I was literally write. And within 11 days, I had the first entire draft done, 237 pages, 235 pages, whatever it was. And she was looking through it, and then she started asking some questions. So I went back through the entire book, and it ended up being far bigger. Okay, so building a book is like building a house. You're going to start from the foundation. You're going to build your walls. You're going to put your second story on. You're going to put the roof on, and then in your final edits, you're going to be doing all your conservatory, gazebo, flower beds, all that kind of stuff. But you can expect to do probably about between 1,000 and 5,000 hours worth of work. You can also expect to, I would recommend, do no less than 7 full edits of your book, as in 7 full read-throughs of your book. But you could be expected to do 10. That is why I say to people, look, you've got to be really passionate about it. And this is strictly if you're writing a novel. If you're writing, as I have as well, self-help books, then, for me, I can probably do a self-help book in a weekend. Because again, I sit down, I channel it, I listen to it, I write it, and it's done. And that would be my advice. Just begin writing, see what emerges, see what comes out. You need to decide as well what it is that you're going to write about. Are you going to write a novel? Are you going to write science fiction? Are you going to write romance, thriller, horror, comedy? Are you going to write a business book? Are you going to write a tour guide book? What is it specifically that you're going to write? But it sounds, Cindy, as if you are talking about writing a novel. And if you're talking about writing a novel, then sit down and just let your mind begin to form all of these things. The final thing I would say before we move on is let your intentions be known. Let your intentions be known to God, to the divine spirit. And all that is very simply, some people call it prayer, some people call it meditation, manifestation, breathing through the third eye, your chakra, and all this other stuff. Whatever phraseology works best for you, I don't mind either way. But for me, I verbally released it, and I felt so divinely drawn to what I was writing that I was just literally, I sat down and the whole thing played out in my head from start to finish. The entire series, and it's a big series, but the whole thing played out in my head like it would as a film. And it's quite phenomenal when it does that. And then I can get into a greater level of detail and things as we go along. And it could be very simple things. So you'll tend to find that if you believe you're being guided, which I do, that all these amazing things show up, all these amazing phrases show up, all these amazing situations show up, the right periods, the right stuff, the right documentaries, the right people, everything shows up. And that would be my advice. So just to quickly recap, it'd be very simple. Allow yourself to be guided. Just sit down and begin writing and see what emerges. And don't worry too much. Don't put any obstacles up that may inhibit you from being successful at whatever it is that you do, and just do it. I know a lot of people say, just write, just do it, but I mean it. Just open your mind, just have a mind that's attached to nothing and open to everything, and see what bursts forth. And I think, if you're anything like me, you'll be so excited as to what actually manifests and bursts forth that you won't be able to stop writing. And I actually wrote 2 books more or less simultaneously. I finished one book and I went on straight onto the next one, and now I'm back onto the first one doing all the edits and everything. But you've got to love the process. You've definitely got to love the process, because edits are going to be a big thing, and you are going to be there for probably a year, maybe 2. And if anybody tells you, writing a novel, you can do it in 120 days. I've seen a whole lot of Facebook ads about that. Don't believe them. Really don't believe them, and stay away from those people, because you will. You may be able to write a novel in 120 days. The question I've got, is it any good? Because you're competing about 30,000 different authors at least per year. So I hope that helps you. Now we're going to turn to some funny videos as we give you your 3 minutes of pure energy, and I hope you enjoy this.
Huh? Oj, het is een bak. Oh.
Wow!
Hey.
Ow!
Hey, right here. Get it. Oh!
What are you doing?
Hey, buddy. Want this Cheetos? Jesus Christ! Oh, God! Oh, God! Oh, God! Oh, God! Woo!
Henri Matisse. This sure brightens up this gray, rainy day.
Yeah. Lots and lots of colors. And look.
Ha, I love it. A cool design with just colors.
Oops.
That was funny. You look like a wild animal.
And da-da, wow! You make a cool painting.
Well, it was cool. This is not a gray day at all.
Whoa, that is cool, Maddie.
Well, it's not exactly what I was going for, but it kind of looks like something I saw in one of my books.
I'll get you a cloth to wipe your face. Oops. Huh? Here you go, Maddie.
Hey, this is who I was looking for on my bookshelf. Henri Matisse, the master of color. Thanks, Dada.
And who have we here?
Monsieur Matisse, what a surprise!
Maddie,
Huh?
you still have paint on your face?
I forgot. I was so excited.
C'est très bon. Being excited and forgetting what others think is the only way to create art.
Da-da, crazy! Hey, Maddie, look at this!
A lot of people laughed at my painting, Woman with a Hat, at its first public showing. They didn't like it at all. They called me Fauve, which is French for wild beast.
Fauve! Oh, that was like me. I turned Maddie and her painting into wild colors.
I love her hat. It's just a bunch of colors that go up, up, and up.
Well, gigantic, outrageous hats were all the fashion back then. And so, that's what I painted. A gigantic, outrageous hat.
And look, Maddie, her face is pink and green, and she has a yellow dab on the tip of her nose, just like you did.
Yeah, it matches the big purple dot under her chin and the green beside her face.
Da-da, yeah. With all those colors around her, it makes her colorful face look normal.
Yeah, this whole painting is so colorful. It's energetic and...
It's impulsive, oui. Colors are what matter to me. How they generate feelings and moods. How they interact with one another.
Yes!
Da-da, yeah.
And different combinations of colors and patterns and shapes can generate very different feelings.
Ooh, this rug has a calming feeling. Da-da-da-dee.
This painting kind of makes me feel relaxed. It makes my eyes glide all around it, like Dada on that rug.
Ooh, yeah.
I saw this room as one big decorative pattern.
Huh? Hey, Maddie, the painting got unflat.
I can see it's a room, but it's flat. Monsieur Matisse, how did you make that room look like a flat, smooth surface?
I painted everything with equal balance. One thing doesn't stand out more than another. I gave each thing its own space and shape on the paper. The tablecloth had that shape, with the pears and the eggplants, vase and statue on top of it. I saw the screen, mirror, window and door as simple rectangle shapes. And the view through the window and mirror are just shapes of color I saw. And of course, the walls and floor look like the same thing, just a big flat pattern surface.
A pattern of a room.
Well, I actually called it Still Life with Eggplants.
Huh? But it's not very still because the eggplants look like they're sliding off the table.
Yeah, and in the mirror, they're back on the table, but in a different place.
It's fun to play around with the space, colors, and shapes of things.
Yeah, and make a whole new picture with them.
Like that one. Da-da, whoa! This one is made only with colors, cut out into shapes.
Monsieur Matisse, you've covered your walls with colorful shapes.
Yes, my excitement carries me away. I forget about everything else.
You were carried away, all right.
Oui, indeed. Well, I cannot do everything I love as easily as I used to. And so, I've created a garden here in my studio where I can walk.
You've made a color garden from cutout shapes.
Yes. I call my new style of art paper cutouts. I draw with scissors and play with colors. I can make them big or very small. And then arrange and rearrange them until it pleases me. Yes, perfect. There.
Cool. Cutting into color.
Fun, fun, fun. This one looks like a party.
Yes, I call it Sorrows of the King.
Huh? Sorrows of the King? But that sounds sad.
Yeah, but it doesn't look sad. I see music and laughing and dancing. Yeah, I'm confused.
Well, the king is very old, but he plays music and he surrounds himself with the memories of laughter and dance, and they soothe all his ills.
Yeah, how can the old king be sad with all those colors around him?
I want to do paper cutouts too. Thank you so much, Monsieur Matisse. I'm all excited.
That's good. And remember to forget everything else.
Look, Dada, I've got the perfect shape to add.
Where do you want it, Maddie? Here? Or over here?
I feel it would be nice up in that corner.
Like this?
Maybe down a bit. And move that triangle just above it. Yeah.
Terrific! I like that!
Well, folks, our time has come at its end once more. It is time for everybody to get off the Artist Heart bus. Have a phenomenal week, my friends. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend because it could be the very thing that they need to hear in their time of struggle, or just to put a bright smile upon their face. It has been a sheer delight being with you today. If you've got questions of your own, if you've got comments of your own, positive, comment in the section below, and I will be sure to read them and respond back as to many of them as I can. Help our little channel to grow. Share it with your friends. Share it on Facebook. It costs nothing for you to share it and just tell people. Plus, when you do that, it tells YouTube that this is something worth watching, and I hope you really appreciate it. I'm loving seeing every single week more and more subscribers building on up, and it is a sheer joy to be here with you each and every single Friday afternoon, folks. We are here with you 52 weeks of the year, and I love doing this. It is my relaxation time with you. Have a phenomenal week. Namaste, my friends. Don't forget, check us out this coming Wednesday for the Battles We All Face podcast. We'll see you same time, same place next week for more Artist Heart Live. And who knows, we may have some more little shorts for you and some other little bits and pieces. But we'll save that for the exciting week ahead. Have a phenomenal day, my friends. Take care and God bless.